Hey, what is up, everyone, and welcome to Market Psychology 101, where we look for value in the markets when there's fear and are cautious when there's greed. On this channel, I am trying to build a community where we can help each other look at ways to invest in a more stress-free manner, in a way we can educate ourselves and take some of the complicated factors out of investing and make it something more enjoyable, because investing is stressful for a lot of people. And with that stress, what can often happen is when there is high amounts of fear in the markets are usually the moments when people are missing out on getting some of the max value for their investment. So we're trying to flip the script here. I do have a lot of knowledge, experience, consulting, time spent in the field of psychology. I've used that to my advantage to make some decent profits in stocks and crypto. So let's start by looking at crypto fear and greed before we get into looking at the top 10 altcoins available on Coinbase by market cap. Right now, fear and greed still trending up. We've been going up for about at least a year. This was the true bottom back here in November of 22. So do know and remember that fear and price at the bottom isn't a one-to-one correlation. Sometimes it can be a lagging indicator, but we've been spending a year going up. We recently had the ETF approval, and I have been wondering if that's a mid-cycle top like we had in 2019, but when we went up for 6 months to that mid-cycle top before we consolidated for a year. I can show that in the Bitcoin chart. So we had the ETF approval here. We're coming back up real close to possibly surpass it. In the last cycle after the high and low, this was a mid-cycle top, 6 months to it. A year in here, this was a COVID crash. Money printing, boom up here. That was the top of that 4-year cycle. 4-year cycles, that's the distance between the tops. So 4 years from this peak to this peak, 3 years, 11 months to that peak. Again, most of the damage was done in here because mostly all the money printing going on. That had a lot to do with it. So is it altcoin year yet? No, not when we look at the alt season index. However, this can be a good time to accumulate dollar cost average in to some of your alts. So remember, none of this is financial advice. You have to take your own risks, do your own research, and maybe diversify into the alts that you like. So let's take a look at these top 10 alts. We're going to start off with Ethereum, and I have this fib drawn out here. This is how I look at things. I take a look at the last year, and I know there's a fib within a fib. Let me get rid of the larger time frame fib. I know we have a lower spot back here, but I'm just taking a look at where we've been, at least in the last year. And we've been climbing up. We've been climbing up. It's about the same rate as Bitcoin. So really, since this has been since mid-October, end of October, and we've just been going up. How much has Ethereum gone up since that time? 75% right now, 65%. So still in an uptrend. However, you can see that maybe it's going to be doing one of these. Maybe if we were to just draw out what that arc shape might be, might we be slowly coming back down over here? Who's to say? You will see that there's a lot of support here on the 382. We've come up to that local high, came down again, rested on the 382, and are curling up again. I'll also say inversely, the way this is curling up might be looking to make a strong move up even higher above this trend line that we've had going over here. And again, this trend line, all trend lines are only good for as long as they're good for. And actually, to me, it's making less sense as it goes on. So it's possible we could be doing this or we could be doing that. So let's throw on one of our buy-sell indicators, at least on the weekly. Same as Bitcoin. A few weeks ago, we had a sell signal. And usually these sell signals take a month or two to play out. 3 weeks later, we've had a weekly buy signal. Now, sometimes there can be chop. However, the longer chop goes on, the less likely that first signal is going to play out, and the more likely it's turning into accumulation. So just something to consider. Let's move on to the next one. We are going to take a look at Doge. I'm going to go through these fairly quick because I reviewed the first four. I'm going to talk about ETH, Ethereum, Doge, Chainlink, and AVAX, Avalanche. I reviewed them because they're also top coins available on Robinhood. So we're just going through this quick. Doge, it's been accumulating a while, going up from 10 cents down to around that 6-cent level. Might Doge be getting ready to have another blow off top near the end of the 4-year cycle? Should we have another 4-year cycle? Maybe. Do notice that we are on this red line, that 20 MA, and the sell signals had some time to play out. And we are at that 0.5 fib. So maybe a decent time to dollar cost average in. Let's take a look at Chainlink. And Chainlink. I keep having to move this fib up. We had about 3 months of accumulation here. We did start off with the sell signal, so I was hoping to get some link down in these ranges. However, it just stayed up here. And again, even though we get a sell signal, sometimes if it starts to chop around for a bit longer, that can just mean accumulation, and it's going up. And Link, this might be one looking to go up possibly even higher, maybe something like 30, 40 cents. I mean dollars. So Chainlink, I like Chainlink overall as an altcoin, and I do think it is one of the safer altcoin plays that you can make. Let's take a look at AVAX. AVAX, similar right here. As you can see, we had a little bit more time for the sell signal to play out. Then we had a buy signal, and we're riding this line. I do have some other indicators with more moving averages, and let's throw one of them on here. Yeah, with these, the 8, 13, 21, 55. Oh boy. So what is going on here? There we go. So right here, we are above those moving averages. So you could say, hey, this thing's still bullish. And I know it's overbought. I would not be buying in myself right now. This is where I like to remind people that time in the market is more important than timing the market. Not to say that I can't go higher. And again, maybe it's looking to do a little bit of a blow off top move right here. So we went up, down, tested the 382, and it's possibly getting ready to do that. We'll see. So I'm going to take this indicator off. There's so many moving lines. I like this one a little bit more. It's a little bit cleaner. So yeah, AVAX overall, we are near, kind of near the yearly highs. We've gone down a bit since that time. How much have we gone down? We've gone down 25%. So if you're a real big fan of AVAX, maybe consider dollar cost averaging in. We are at the 382, and overall it's staying above some of these averages. So it can still have some strength to move up. Let's take a look at some of the altcoins exclusively available on Coinbase. We're going to take a look at Ripple, XRP. You're going to hear my real quick rant about how much I hate those videos on YouTube talking about XRP going to 15,000 from people who have no idea what market cap means. Guys, if XRP goes to 10,000, I've seen a lot of titles of this videos. That means it will have a market cap of 500 trillion, which is just completely stupid. So the US GDP overall is something like 100 trillion. The biggest stocks in the world that are around 3 trillion. So please don't believe that crap. And if you don't know what market cap means, please do your own research on that. But basically, all because someone throws out a magic number doesn't mean it'll go there. Calculate where the market cap would be if the price were to reach the level that some of these people predict. And please be careful with some of those predictions. I know it might make you feel excited and good because you have that altcoin, but don't get sucked into the hype, especially when it's from these people that have no idea what they're talking about. So XRP, overall in the last year, you can see we're relatively on the lower end. So if you like XRP, I do not think it's the worst time to buy. However, there is that risk in knowing that, hey, look at this. You can see a trend just moving downward. So is XRP dead? Maybe. However, if XRP is something you really like and see potential in, this might be some of the best times to get great value with XRP, should it one day moon again. Most recently, we had a sell signal. And man, look at this. It's probably ate a lot of people up. Me personally, if I liked XRP, I probably would have been sucked in here around this time, because what started with the sell signal started to look like it was accumulation. And then one of the sell signals finally came true, and it's gone down to the tune of 20-25%. So markets, they're unpredictable. Guys, there's no silver bullet or secret Krabby Patty recipe to know what exactly is going to happen. You can see the RSI is curling down. XRP, maybe it's just an altcoin of bygone days from the 2017 bull run, and that might possibly be it. So again, not to say that it might shoot up someday. I don't know. If you like XRP a lot and you do your own research, you might be getting in on some of the best overall deep value times to acquire some XRP. So take your own risks, not financial advice. Solana. So Solana, again, we talk about how coins are more bullish when they're above these moving averages. And as you can see, this one's holding up pretty strong, just like a couple of the others we looked at. I know there's a fib within a fib here on the weekly. We had a buy signal. This is looking very similar to Bitcoin and Ethereum, is it not? Just with this big move up since October, end of October, beginning of November, had 3 weeks down, and now it's starting to curl back up. It's on this 236. Let's zoom out a bit here, see what this other fib is. So that's from the prior highs and lows, and from the macro fib, you can see we're getting stuck right under the 618. So, and you see these wicks descending. So it looks like we are going to settle in at this 103 price, and then we'll see what is going to happen. I would be very cautious personally. There are some very bullish looking things on Sol. However, when you consider that markets are in all-time highs and they just keep ripping up, and there's not really been a good, healthy, strong correction in a while, I would worry about jumping into the hype and getting wrecked. It's one of those times I feel like you're flipping a coin here. Markets might continue to just rip up in the immediate short term, and maybe you're doing more of trade vesting styles. If things just keep ripping up a stupid amount, you can think of stocks like Nvidia and other altcoins that are going up very, very sharply in very short term. Or we might be due for something like a 50% correction on some of these cryptos. Maybe go back down to this fib, something like the 786, 618 here, between 57 and 61. So that would be my bearish outlook if things were to all of a sudden sell off quite a bit. If we did break through, man, I could see this thing getting up to that 200 level. So we will see. Solana, flip a coin. I do think Solana is, as far as this next bull run, as far as altcoins that are going to do good amount of damage at the peak of the next 4-year cycle, should we get one. Again, we're only going by, 3-4 data points here. Should we get another 4-year cycle, something close to it, Solana might be one of the safest plays, kind of like Chainlink and some others. Let's move on to ADA, Cardano, another 2017 coin. Let's see. So here's the most recent fib, and something to know with Cardano. 2017, I do believe it was around $1.50 back here. I could pull up a different Cardano chart. I do believe it was around $1.50. Got up to $3. Maybe it's closer to $1. Anyways, so some people wondering, $1, $3, maybe $5 is next. Who knows? This is on the monthly. As you can see, most recent monthly signal is green. Let's go to the weekly. Let's get a little closer. We did have that sell signal. And yeah, this one overall looks better. We did get under that moving average. So you could see that maybe we're going to run into this lower moving average as it comes up. And maybe we're settled around this price right now, the 382 at 50 cents for a while. So if you like Cardano, I don't think this is the worst time to dollar cost average in. This is one, hey, should it get the $5? That you're talking about a 9-10x if we keep going in that pattern, the macro pattern of around $1, $3, $5. So Cardano, from the research I've read into all the way back in 2017, there's a lot of things I like about Cardano. Again, with these cryptos though, all because something sounds good or looks good on paper doesn't mean that it's actually going to perform. You can look at the crypto markets right now for proof of that. Sometimes there's dogs and frogs and meme coins that go 100, 500x for no reason. So crypto markets, very volatile, very risky. The large caps tend to be the safer, slower plays. And if you get something like at least a 5x, that's pretty good. 20x if you can get the ultimate 4-year cycle bottom to the next top. You can get good 20x's in here, 10, 20x pluses. So let's take a look at the next one. We have 3 more, MATIC, DOT, and ICP. So MATIC, which one should we look at here? MATIC. All right, in the last, let's take a look at 5 years. We got a buy signal, and we are at this moving average. So maybe not the worst time. The dollar cost average in the MATIC, I like that like there. And as you can see, when we touch that 50 on the RSI, we're about at the same price. So yeah, if you like MATIC, this isn't the worst spot. Overall, from the last year, we're about to escape this point from $1.50. So really being about 50% down. You can take a look right here, and yeah, around 50% down. So hey, we've gone down back up to 50. This is a key level right here, because sometimes when stocks, they can move up an amount and they go down 50%, they settle, and then they go back up. Or inversely, they can move down, come up 50% from their previous high, and then come back down. So is that the macro play happening right now, going down, back down to this 50-cent level from the 80-cent level? Or micro play, are we going from 50 to 100? And you can see it's a little bit above. Point still stands though. 50 to 100, down to that halfway point. We can just draw a fib to prove it, so I don't have to keep justifying myself here. So yeah, 50 to 100, we're at the 0.5, testing the 382 at the 80-cent level. Again, if you like MATIC, there's some things to like about it here. It could possibly go up higher. So yeah, we'll see. Let's take a look at the last 2, DOT and ICP, Internet Computer. First, DOT. All right, so let's fix this fib here. What does this clown show? So DOT, similar to MATIC. You can see right here, around $3.50, $4, up to $9.50, and back down to that 0.5, and then bouncing up. And as you can see, we're above those averages there on the yearly or the daily. If we take a look at the weekly, we have that sell signal, and we're underneath this average still here. So I am wondering, these long-legged doji, sometimes they can move drastically either way. It is green, however, it's not quite convincing enough. Maybe it could come back down, or maybe it's just going to settle here at that 0.5. And if it does for a bit longer, maybe you could say we're doing one of these. Or again, we can zoom out. Maybe you think we're coming down, bounce up, back down. Take your pick, flip a coin. Let's go to the last one, ICP. And guys, if you're looking for predictions from me, I don't want to give predictions because I think that's playing a very dangerous game. Again, nothing I'm saying here is financial advice. What I am trying to help you do by having this perspective is to reinforce that you are taking your own risks, that there is no guarantee, and that the best thing you can do is make a plan on when to invest and go in, obviously after you've done your own research. So maybe this is homework for you. Write down a list of 4 or 5 altcoins that you really like or are interested in, do your research on it, and then make your investing plan. And maybe that plan is, for example, here are just a couple quick things I do. If it's within a yearly low, if there's more fear in the market, if it's oversold, that can be one way of looking at it. Maybe you have indicators added to that plan and you're looking for special conditions. The more conditions you have in your plan, the more important it'll be to increase your time in the market so you're not chasing pumps. However, it can be very hard to have all the conditions met in your plan. So I do encourage, or this is something that I do that's helped out, is I dynamically dollar cost average in. So there are levels to how much and when I dollar cost average in to try to maximize my value. And that changes based on the strength of the stock in crypto. So for example, if there's a very strong stock like Amazon, I am more likely to dollar cost average in when there's 10% dips, whereas in crypto, completely different. 10% dips mean nothing to me in crypto. I like for there to be a lot stronger dips. Sometimes these things, the altcoins can dip 50%, 40%, 80%. That's just the nature of the beast. So anyways, I digress. ICP, the last one here. My God, is he going to get to the point? So we had that doji, long-legged doji sell signal, and boom, immediately back to buy signal, and we're above this moving average. So really, to me, that looks macro bullish, like it's getting ready to just possibly do one of these again and stay above the moving average there. If we were to pull up, let's see, what would be a good one to look at? Let's just do a bull market support band. You can see how we kind of went up to the right, touched it, up to the right. Are we going to touch it and then go back up? This is looking very, very strong. RSIs don't have to come back down. They can do something like this first, and it can be a while. It might be a few more months, and maybe we go up a bit more. So let's take a look at the fibs, and we'll just go right here. So yeah, overall that one looks pretty bullish. If you like ICP, it's above the averages. A chart like this gives me more optimism than a chart like XRPs. So XRP, if you are looking for more deep value, sure, you might be excited about that. However, counterpoint to that is with a chart like this, Chainlink, Solana, these obviously have a lot more strength and support behind it. And maybe you're thinking of what the multiplier potential is of some of these altcoins. If it's showing more strength and potential right now, I rather make a safer play investing into something like this, at least until the peak of the next 4-year cycle, and then getting out. I rather take more of a likely sure thing. Again, no guarantees. However, I rather take more of a likely sure thing in this and get a 5x or a 10x. Guys, that's amazing. It is so hard to find a 5 or 10x. And if you 2x $1,000 10 times over, that's over $1 million. And if you're not following what I'm saying, 1,000 to 2,000, 2 to 4, 4 to 8, so on. Again, if you double $1,000 in that pattern that I just explained 10 times, that's over $1 million. And so if you can get a 5 to 10x in crypto, that's great. I know people are looking for 200x's. Guys, that's gambling, and it's even less likely to hit on one of those than it is some of these large caps. And it does require being more patient. Patience is the act of waiting calmly. It's not something we just do. It's a way of being. So I do hope that if you are feeling anxious about missing some of this, go for a walk, take a deep breath, write out a plan, and then go for a walk again before you put in money. Maybe even consult the financial advisor. So there are many things you can do to make sure that your mind is settled and right before you put in your money. And if you're ever getting that urge to jump into the hype, again, I'm going to say go for a walk, write down your plan, revisit your plan. And if you're still feeling pretty strong about it, after a day, trust me, you're not going to really too often miss too much in a day, unless there's one of these stupid God candles. But overall, one day you're not going to miss too much. If you come back and you still feel strong about it, then cool, get in. It's kind of like my advice for tattoos. I have a few tattoos. I love tattoos. However, when I get an idea for a tattoo, I want to like the idea for at least a few months up to a year before I permanently put it on my body. So not that you have to wait that long for cryptos, but just I'm trying to help you guys think of some ways to manage your risk and to manage your emotions. Because here at Market Psychology, what I'm trying to help you guys know is that emotions can be our worst enemy. And when there's fear, people stop buying in and they stop looking at the markets. And those can tend to be the best times to get the deepest value. This is when we had the most amount of fear, when FTX went bankrupt, Sam Bankman-Fried, the Tom Brady, Steph Curry commercials, all that stuff. That was the best time to buy. Everyone was shocked down here. And I remember being there and being like, oh, this is a good time to buy. And I bought some stocks, I bought cryptos, and I'm so happy I did. So you do have to be a contrarian. Again, I have a lot of knowledge, experience, certification in the field of psychology. And this is one way I've used psychology, reverse psychology in a way to increase my profits. Do I get everything right? No. There are some stocks I've been holding since back here that are still about at their levels. So do your own research, and there are no guarantees. However, overall, at least with crypto right now, my portfolio is up around 4 or 5x, and my stocks since this time are up a lot. I was able to get on some things like Nvidia and Meta. I would not be buying Nvidia right now. So there is becoming more euphoria in the markets. Things are pumping pretty good. Please be cautious, because we are in extreme greed times in the stocks. Crypto, we're getting near there again. So not to say there isn't some strong plays in altcoins that you can make, but if you do and you invest into any altcoins right now, I do want you to be aware that if things do capitulate and correct, that it is possible you might be holding on to them for a year to 18 months. If we are to have a 4-year cycle, late 2025 would be that time. And so if things were to correct and go down, that late 2025 might be the time you would have to hold to, when things are going up by then. So yeah, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. If you have any questions, things you want me to look at, stocks, cryptos, if you have any sort of technical analysis you would like for me to do, please comment those below. I'm more than happy to look at any altcoins available on Coinbase or Robinhood, as well as any stocks out there too. So hope everyone's doing well, that the weather's getting warm wherever you are, and that through this channel we find a way to make investing a more stress-free, easy thing to do, where you can feel confident and great about getting deeper value in your stocks and cryptos and reaping the rewards of that later on. I truly hope we all are able to help each other make money and grow a community here. And I don't care if this channel ever makes money. I look forward to building the community the most. And if we can find a way to help each other, knowing that would bring me more than enough joy than anything YouTube could pay me for. So anyways, going on a little bit of a soapbox rant here. I apologize. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Take care.